Hi everyone, today we're going to be talking about a lot of Glossier products. I stopped by the Glossier store yesterday and picked up the limited edition Ultralip shades, and I'm going to do lip swatches of those. I also picked up some of the lip liners, which are pretty new, so we're going to talk about those as well. It's been a while since I've bought anything from Glossier, so I'm excited to get into it. I hope this is interesting, helpful for you. If you're interested in any of the new Glossier launches, let's get into it. I went to the Glossier store yesterday because they released 2 new Ultra Lip colors, and I really like the Ultra Lips. And not only did the packaging kind of get me, because Glossier doesn't really do like limited edition packaging, but they're both kind of orangey shades, which is perfect for me. But while I was there, I decided to get some other things because the lip liners from Glossier are also pretty new, and I've been interested in them, but it was something about like already being at the Glossier store and getting to swatch them in person that got me there. And then I also got 2 cloud paints. So I got one of the bronzers, I got the shade Swept, and I've been waiting for Glossier to release a cloud paint bronzer for what feels like 1,000 years, because they did the solar paints instead, and the solar paints, I got rid of mine. They just weren't that great. This is the shade Dawn. I used to have a bunch of shades of the cloud paint blushes, but those were one of the products lost in the move, so I'm replacing the orange shade, which is a very bright orange. And then I figured, since we're here, we'll do not quite a full face, but I have the stretch foundation and the concealer and all of that, so I figured why not just go for it. And I'm going to use Future Dew, which is their priming, what do they call it? Oil Serum Hybrid, but it's like a glowy primer. The reason I want to use this is because the stretch foundation, which I've had since it came out, so quite a while, a lot of people talk about it being really dewy, but it's not dewy on me. It's actually, I don't know, it leans a little dry on me. So Future Dew is really nice. It's one of the products that I can put under foundations that it seems like I can't get to work for me, and it makes them work for me. So we're going to use Future Dew underneath first. I love that product. I've had that product for a really long time. And then the stretch foundation, I have in the shade Medium 5, and I know I bought my shade online, again, like a year ago when it came out, which I think means it came out in the summer. And that's important to note too, because it means that I purchased it when I had a tan, but when I was in store, I finally swatched other shades, and this is too dark for me. It's too dark. And I didn't return it because it's not that big of a deal to me, but wow, I could have done way better with the shade choice. So that's kind of a bummer. There were like 3 other shades. I think my lightest shade would be like 3. I think my best shade would be medium 1. But we're just going to use what we have because we have it. And I'm going to go in with a sponge. So you can see it's definitely like too dark. Yeah, you can. I think from a distance, it's at least I'm like kind of tan right now. So it's not the worst, but it's just not my finest shade matching work, but so it happens sometimes. And I think that applied really well today. Again, you can see with the Future Dew on, it is pretty glowy, which is what I want. And I think it's gonna set down a little bit for me. It's gonna mellow out. Then I have the stretch concealer, and I have the shade Light 3. Just gonna that also helps the shade kind of look a little bit more skin native overall. And I've had this is my second pot of the stretch concealer, so I definitely had it when it first, maybe not when it first launched, but I've had the stretch concealer for a very long time. Like I think my old shade was medium, and it was when they had not that many shades. So this is definitely not a new product for me, but they have readjusted their shade range, I think a couple of times, and it's pretty extensive now. They revised it when they brought out the foundation so that there would be corresponding concealer to the foundation shades. And the stretch concealer is meant to be sort of a light to medium coverage, and it's meant to be, you know, kind of dewy, because it's also supposed to work if you're using like the Glossier skin tint, which is no coverage at all. That actually did make the foundation shade look a little bit better. Not around the edges, but from the center at least. Okay, now we get to get into the fun stuff. So let's do bronzer. And like I said, I got the shade Swept, which looks like this. And I'm just gonna go in with the BK Beauty 109, kind of work it into the brush, and then just tap. I like that shade. And it is showing up on this foundation that's a little too dark for me, which is nice, but I think it's gonna look even better on a foundation that's a little bit closer to my actual shade. But it blends really, really, really easily. It's not very like aggressive at all, which I'm not surprised. I'm just putting it down here to try to blend these lines together. Yeah, I like that color. And I like the formula. I wish that they had just done this first instead of the solar paints, which I don't think they sell anymore. Smart, but interesting. We're gonna do Dawn. This is not new. This shade's been out for a while. And I have like a whole orange blush thing that I wanna do. So this is Dawn. And again, I just kind of worked it from the back of my hand. And then I'm gonna go in kind of light because I don't want a super blushy look today. I just want it to be kind of gentle blush. Yeah, and Dawn, I mean, the cloud paints do build up. So if they look intense, they can be intense, but they don't have to be intense, which is one of the reasons I like that formula so much. And I think that looks really cute. Lip liners. I got 3 shades. I'm kind of in my lip liner era right now, I guess. I've just been using them a lot more and liking them a lot more, understanding kind of the function of them a lot more. I don't know. Anyway, this, I'm gonna swatch them. This is Graze, which is supposed to be like a tawny peach, I think. And then Bit, which is, I think, supposed to be like a mauve. And then lastly, I got Flush. And I don't remember how that one was described. Probably, I don't know, like a rosy brown. They're supposed to, so I feel like everyone's kind of heard this. Your like lip liner is supposed to be your nipple color. And so these are supposedly based off of nipple colors because this pigment is supposed to be, like your lip pigment is supposed to be similar to that color. I don't think it's supposed to be exact. It's just a suggestion, even though I also don't think it's easier to match your nipple color. But anyway, so they are meant to be like fairly like realistic skin tone shades is I think the point of that. And I am going to lip swatch them all, but I'm gonna have to be fast about it because these do actually dry down quite a bit, which is nice. They are sharpenable, but they are not a wooden pencil. And yeah, so I'm gonna go in with Grace first. They do dry down. Okay, so that's Grace. And I kind of went more than I normally would for myself with the way I use lip liner so that you could see the shade. Hopefully that helps. Next is Bit. And Bit is kind of like a My Lips, but a little bit darker sort of shade. But similar like mauve tones that my natural lip pigment has. You can see it is kind of dark. And they get like, as they're drying down, they almost feel like sticky for a brief moment, but that is just them like drying down. That's why I'm trying to be really quick. See? It's so hard to get off. I'm gonna see if I can put lip balm over it and kind of ruin it to get it off so I can show you this last shade. Aha. Okay. It's brutal. Last shade is Flush. And so that's just really light. That's like about as light as you can get it, because it will get darker. That's what I want to. See, so if you're filling in your lips, it's a pretty dark shade. But if you just lightly line, so that's so ugly and uneven, but the color is communicated. That's what's important right now. So I'm gonna also lip balm this one off for the sake of my own lips. Now, limited edition Ultra Lips. They are a limited edition. They came in 2 shades, Apricot, which is an apricot. I love these. And Deco, which is a burnt orange. So Deco, Apricot, I love them. I'm so excited. We'll do lip swatches real quick. Apricot, I love it. It's such a like creamy peach color, really easy to wear for me. Like I wouldn't have to wear a lip liner or really like look in a mirror to apply it because it's just kind of like milky and sheer enough. And then Deco. And then just built up a little. Deco. And then such a cute shade with the blush. I love them. I really, really love them. And let's see, is this about to be it? Oh, it's about to be it. I was rushing and then suddenly we're at the end. I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna use Grays and do my lip line, and then I'm gonna use Apricot because I think Grays and Apricot actually look really good together. Look how cute that looks. That's all the Glossier products that I have today. I have in the past used their mascara, Lash Slick, which I think is great. I just don't have it at the moment. And then I have tried their brow marker and their boy brow. The brow flick, I think is what their brow marker is, or brow pen, whatever. I don't like it as much as the Urban Decay one. So while I wouldn't like refuse it if someone gave it to me, I wouldn't rebuy it at this point. And then boy brow, honestly, it's just one of those things, like there's so many brow products that I want to try that I usually don't revisit and rebuy, though I have purchased boy brow several times. There are just a couple things on my list that I want to try before I end up back to it. I don't have any Glossier eye products like eyeshadows. I've never had any because their liquids are very sheer and just not my thing, and then their eyeshadows look fine, but there's something about it that's just like never caused me to go for it. I haven't really tried their skincare except for their balm in the green and pink package, which is phenomenal, and their cleanser, the Milky Jelly cleanser, is also one of my favorites. They have reformulated it. It's not quite as good, but it's still pretty good. I still really like it. My skin can dry out really, really easily, and that does not dry my skin out. It's definitely a second cleanse. I think that's everything I've tried from them. I did just pick up the deodorant, and I love the smell of it. We'll see how it works. I think that's everything. I haven't tried their powder, Powders don't really entice me to try. I hope this was interesting. How do you feel about the limited edition shades? Are you excited that Glossier is doing limited edition things like that? Usually limited edition is just their merch. So I am really excited that they're doing that. Yeah, I think that's everything. I just wanted to show you the new shades real quick and the lip liners, and then figured I'd throw everything else on while we're at it. So hope that was interesting. Tell me what you think about the new shades.